Santa Fe Indian School graduates will understand the issues facing tribes in the Southwest and will be committed to maintaining Native American cultural values. They will participate in the culture of their communities and will have the skills to pursue the education or careers that will benefit them, their families, and their people.
Hello everybody, my name is Francis Velasquez. I'm from South Felipe Pueblo. My parents' names are Francis and Jolene Velasquez. My grandmother's name is Mary Riano. She's from Laguna Pueblo. My SHP topic was on the role of cultural practices in protecting natural resources in South Felipe Pueblo. In my own community, the role of cultural practices and the natural resources means a lot for the future generations. My goals after high school was to continue my education. Thank you.
Go to the shah, go to set Baku. Adija, Pasti, Shaya, Tibakuta. Oh, it's a ish, Yo, Minya, Adishko, Nam, how they know that governors, lieutenant governors, tribal leaders, family and friends, and most importantly, our sons and daughters, the class of 2020. It is a great honor and respect that I deliver a message on behalf of the Santa Fe Indian School Board of Trustees and our Pueblo governors. Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. It is a good day to be a brave. It is a good day to be a lady brave. My name's Raymond Aguilar Jr. I am from Santo Domingo, Pueblo. First and foremost, I want to thank you for your hard work, your dedication, and your commitment getting to this day, and that is graduation. I also want to acknowledge the hardships and the perseverance in these challenging times. You have displayed one of the greatest core values in our communities, and that is never giving up, never ever giving up. Those things that we teach our children in our own communities. I also want to acknowledge the friendships and memories that you have made here at the Santa Fe Indian School, whether it's with the teacher, residential advisor, staff, or even your peers. You have created an everlasting memory. And that is what we are here at Santa Fe Indian School, a family. Once a brave, always a brave. And in speaking of memories, I also want to share a story my father once told me, and that's the story of the bow and arrow. My father gave me a bow and arrow, and as we were going back to school, he told me to shoot that arrow in the sky and follow the path of the arrow. So I did. As I followed my arrow throughout the years, it has led me to attend college, as well as coming home and serving in a leadership capacity for my community of Santo Domingo, Pueblo. It has also led me to serve as your president of the Santa Fe Indian School Board of Trustees. Graduates, today I give you that bow and arrow to aim in that sky and follow your path wherever it may take you. Many of you go on to higher education. Many of you go to vocational schools. And many of you, like myself, will come home and serve in leadership capacities for your own communities. I challenge you today to follow that path of your own arrow, wherever that may be. My question to you, graduates, where will your arrow take you? But let's not forget your parents, your mom, your dad, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, your aunties, for those individuals that have stood in front of you, giving you direction, giving you a hand, for those individuals that stood next to you, guiding you, supporting you, and for those individuals always behind us, supporting us, challenges, encouraging us to be a better person. I know as parents, we will continue supporting and praying for your successes. I hope you'll follow your own path of that arrow. And in closing, I will to close with a prayer in my language. It's a height el not your kaitra, Tony Sotra, Teme was carter, Yatina ta chodra, Nael Haika, Mishkayo, Pasan Manyo, Kotraba, Guna, was Tia Kotra, got me Haika, Toniteo, come so many kaitra, take them, Koti, come, should say, Tao, Ea, Tatisko, says Ea, Isra, Jotra, Kobenish, Jots, and our site to know ya Jotra. Thank you again. Congratulations.
My name is Iris Emery. I'm from the Pueblo of Santo Domingo. I want to start off by thanking everyone who has been there for me throughout my high school career. I want to thank Ms. Grimley for always being there for me and supportive of me. And lastly, I want to thank my friends Sean, Deanna, and Taylor for always being there for me throughout my high school career. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Deandra Armijo and I am from the Pueblo of Jemez. First, I would like to say thank you to my family for their support and always being there for me, especially my grandma Angel, who has raised me since I was 4 months old. Well, I wouldn't have gotten through school without my best friend Tanea. Thank you so much for everything and all the memories we have made. I would also like to say thank you to all the staff at SFIS for making my 4 years of high school great, especially to Tony Frank, Sylvia Vigil, and Renee Cotta. I am very thankful for all of you. Lastly, I just want to be thankful that I got to be a part of a great team for 4 years, but team was more like family. Thank you, softball, for making high school fun and memorable. Thank you.
Happy Friday, and welcome parents, guardians, siblings, grandparents, relatives, extended family members, friends, Santa Fe Indian School students and staff, those of you from our wonderful communities from which our native students come from, our Pueblo governors, lieutenant governors, and their councils, the tribal leaders from Hopi, the Apache tribes, the Navajo Nation, and other tribes in the nation, and the Santa Fe Indian School Board of Trustees. Most importantly, happy Friday to you, the SFIS Braves and Lady Braves, graduating class of 2020. For the safety of everyone, we did not hold an in-person ceremony, have people leave their communities to attend a drive-through of Santa Fe Indian School campus, or restrict participants. I want to thank PBS for broadcasting today this important ceremony to all of New Mexico and beyond through their affiliates. I thank Principal Faith Rosetta and her staff, as well as Chief Technology Director Kimball Sekakwaptawa and her staff for their assistance. As we all know, 2020 has brought to our world the pandemic of our lifetimes. Even the incredible technology at our fingertips, the best scientists ever doing painstaking research, medical personnel that have conquered and created so much through the years. COVID-19, the coronavirus, have left its mark and will continue to leave its mark at a rate that is yet to be determined in our world. The United States of America suffered many deaths due to this virus, and I offer our sincere condolences and sympathy to everyone losing a loved one. Today, our SFIS seniors who have already received their diplomas will be recognized through this SFIS virtual graduation video. I acknowledge and certify that each has met the requirements for graduation. Thank you to our newest heroes in the medical community: doctors, nurses, hospital staff, EMS, law enforcement, staff in our assisted living homes, who have over the past 3 months given their all, including risking their own lives to give comfort to all of those who have been affected and infected by the pandemic in one way or another. Your selfless and tireless work has not gone unnoticed. We truly appreciate you and your family continued efforts. Each year, as I think about what I would like to share in my message to our graduates and to those in viewing the ceremony, I usually find that the topics seem to flow pretty easily. This year, with this graduation experience, it is different. Very different. Since early March, it has been different, but I want to acknowledge the resilience of our students who persevered and crossed the graduation finish line for high school in our academic dorm and support staff helping to reach that accomplishment. Kudos. Throughout today, Friday, June 26th, you, the SFIS class of 2020, will remember completing and closing out your high school career. Throughout your 4 years, many of you have experienced much. There have been the exciting moments, maybe even some scary and dark times, successes as goals and expectations were reached and exceeded. Whatever those experiences have been for you, they are about to come to an end as your time in high school is complete and you will move forward. Many will head off to further your education, start a new job. That may lead even to a new future career. Head off to the military or continue to work, helping on your family farm. Continue to do well, give your best effort daily, and I wish you the best. Proud of you. You made history. We're resilient and are the testimony to finishing strong. The Creator has a plan for you. This school year was a school year like no other, and hopefully it will not be one that we experience and repeat ever again. The SFIS is an institution which began in 1890 with much turmoil as children were brought forcibly to the school. But with the perseverance and hard work from our tribal leaders through the years, moved and led the SFIS to be one of the leaders in Indian education and to be a premier institution, strong and focused on continuing a world-class education. Thank you, tribal leaders, board of trustees, parents, and students. Well done. We all experienced a different way of learning as students and as educators. Distance learning came in quickly with the COVID-19 pandemic, and it started and finished off all the remainder of the second semester. It was a new way of learning and teaching being done from home that will continue to have an impact going forward for many deeper learning and teaching was the result. Email, which per series came in about 1971 and will turn 50 years old in 2021. Email became a very important mode of communication between students, parents, educators, and school staff. Seldom does a form of technology last more than a couple of years in our world today. We all know how important the Google Classroom and Zoom became as a tool. It allowed our SFIS educators, counselors, and dorm staff to reach out and to connect with you students on a regular daily basis. These online platforms help to bring the distance of being away from the school building into your library, your car, kitchen, your bedroom, or even on the couch. These technical tools will continue with us as education moves forward. The events in Minneapolis, in communities large and small across our nation over this week, has opened our eyes yet again to social injustice in our nation. The tragic loss of George Floyd's life, which has the vast majority of us asking why, has led to these protests, some peaceful and some violent. Watching the constant news coverage, many of us, including the SFIS class of 2020, to try to understand the why. Why did this happen? Why did that happen? The loss of one life is one life too many. Systemic, institutionalized change needs to happen. The events of this week have once again shown and proven this. It is my hope that this needed systemic, institutionalized change will occur and hopefully lead each one of us to a better understanding and help us to realize so much better that no matter the color of one's skin, the faith of the individual, the gender or the choice of one's partner, that we are all human beings, that every life needs to be the treasured, respected, and valued. It can no longer be about black and white. It needs to be about right and wrong. Equity in all scopes of our lives needs to occur, and it can start with each one of us, each one of you. SFIS class of 2020, I challenge you to accept one, accept all, each and every day from this point, and honor your core values. Respect and recognize the differences that we all share. It is who each and every one of us that truly makes us and everyone so unique, so different and important as you go forward in your lives. In closing, a quote from Nelson Mandela, former president of South Africa. Education is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world. As your superintendent, I thank you and may God bless you always.
The Santa Fe Indian School is owned and operated by the 19 Pueblo governors of New Mexico and governed by a board of trustees. We would like to take a moment to recognize their leadership and acknowledge our Pueblo governors and our board of trustees.
I'd like to say thank you to my parents. Thank you for your support throughout my academic career. I really appreciate it. I couldn't be here without, what you guys have done for me. I'd also like to say thank you to my teachers. Thank you for putting your time and effort into teaching the class of 2020. I also want to say thank you to my friends. It's been an amazing 4 years. And I'm sorry we didn't get to say goodbye, but I'm sure we'll see each other again in the future.
I'm Lauren Behill, and first of all, I would like to thank Tribal Leadership, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Herrera, Principal Rosetta, and the entire SFIS community for always putting us students first. My experience here has prepared me for my next academic endeavor and so much more. With senior year coming to an end, it is a time of celebration and recognition for all of our hard work and the pride that we bring to our communities and our families. Secondly, I'd like to thank my friends Janelle, Daniel, Jasmine, Harlan, and Cole for making my time at SFIS fun and memorable. Last but not least, thank you to my family for your support and love. To my fellow classmates, we did it. Congratulations to the class of 2020.
Histe is Tongo. In our language, that means hello, how are you? My name is Kelly Haney. I'm a former state senator in the state of Oklahoma and also principal chief of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma. I have had the pleasure of knowing Seneca Johnson for a number of years, in fact, since she was born. I know her parents. I'm very pleased to be friends with them for many, many years. Seneca has achieved many things in her life, and in school particularly. She was president of her senior class. She was president of Born Brave Society and secretary of National Honor Society. In addition to that, she has been a writer for the Santa Fe, New Mexico newspaper and tutor for college prep program Breakthrough Santa Fe, leadership role in Youth United for Climate Crisis Action. Seneca has competed in sports as well as achieving her outstanding achievements in academics. She has been in the area of volleyball and track and field. Seneca achieved the superintendent's honor roll every semester that she was in Santa Fe High School. And her senior honors project was on intergenerational trauma and healing to spread awareness of how trauma manifests and how healing ourselves can heal our communities. Seneca is a recipient of the Gates Millennium Scholarship and has chosen to attend Yale University in the fall. It's a pleasure to introduce to you Seneca Johnson.
Instead, Stango, Seneca Johnson Chawjifkiros, Fushwilgi Amirelegiri Omis. Hello everybody, my name is Seneca Johnson. I'm from the Muskogee and Seminole Nations, and I'm honored to be the 2020 Santa Fe Indian School Salutatorian. Welcome to everyone who's tuning in. We did it. We've all worked so hard and had to overcome so many obstacles to get to this moment, but we made it. I know this isn't the ideal graduation, and this certainly isn't how I imagined it, but this is still something that we can really be proud of. I've been a student here at SFIS since the 7th grade, and I've grown and changed a lot in my time here. Middle school was a tumultuous time in my life for a lot of reasons. I had only attended public school before entering the Indian school, and as an urban Indian, I began questioning my own identity as an Indigenous woman. My family was still reeling from the death of a loved one, and I had begun to struggle with my mental health, specifically anxiety, and it got to the point I could hardly make a phone call without bursting into tears. Middle school can be a tough time for anybody, and for me, it proved to be a time of turbulence and insecurity. Moving up into high school was exciting, not only because it provided a change of scenery with new classes, teachers, and students, but it felt like a real step forward into my goal of graduating. It was like the world had opened up, and it was exciting and overwhelming in equal measure. The future I had been working towards wasn't quite so far away, and I began to engage with other people who had felt the same way that I did, and who found a way to move past it. With my world that much bigger, I began to see more of the injustices happening in my community. As I learned of problems within our society, I saw young people rising up to call for change. From the courageous students at Parkland to the water protectors at Standing Rock, seeing that same call for change within New Mexico and Santa Fe and within the Santa Fe Indian School was really powerful. It was at this school and watching other activists use their voice that I began to really search for my own. I got my first opportunity to speak publicly when I was 15 at our school walkout against gun violence. My stomach churned and my voice shook, and it got a little bit harder to breathe, and I nearly didn't do it at all. But still, I stood and spoke, and ended up getting offers afterwards to continue to speak and call for change within Santa Fe. That same anxiety followed me as I did so, but getting involved enough to truly feel like I could make a difference was enough to push me through. I continued to get involved locally in whatever way I could as I moved through high school, eventually manifesting in my work for the local nonprofit YUCCA, or Youth United for Climate Crisis Action. The creation of that was only possible with Earth Care and the other young leaders in New Mexico. The more that we spoke, the more people began to listen, and we could make tangible change in people's lives. I've been able to meet with so many incredible community leaders and organizers, decision makers, get involved in the election process, as well as help with the Santa Fe Mutual Aid for the COVID-19 pandemic. Though I did not ever stop being anxious, I could breathe a little bit easier and my voice became a little bit stronger with every time. This is how I learned what it meant to express yourself and to stand for what you believe in, even if it feels terrifying. I still feel anxiety and displacement, and I don't imagine it will go away anytime soon, but I've learned strategies to get my messages across nonetheless with perseverance and stepping outside of my comfort zone. Only through this experience did I discover that I want to set myself on this path of social justice and activism, and this is how I found my voice and the strength to use it. Finding what you're passionate about or what is worth fighting for will not always look the same. For me, it was activism, but for others, it could be art or getting involved in science and law or keeping your traditions alive and caring for your community and family members, or simply having the courage to exist as yourself. Thank you to everybody who helped me and who gave me the courage to exist as myself where I am today. I'd like to thank my family first and foremost, my mom and dad, Valerie and Kenneth Johnson, who have stood behind me 100% in everything that I do and who have taught me to go through this world with my life turned outward. Thank you to my sister Sky, who is always there to make me laugh on my lowest days and to knock some sense into me should I need it. Thank you to my grandparents, my cousins, my aunties and uncles, who span from Taos to Amarillo, from Santa Fe to Tulsa, who have been such a bright presence in my life. I'd also like to thank my friends, both inside this school and out of it, for making me laugh every single day and not ever letting me feel like I'm alone. I especially want to thank my fellow graduates, Kira Mormejo Varga and Mikel Tibaka, for being with me through thick and thin. Thank you to Breakthrough Santa Fe for guiding me from elementary school to college on a path of positivity, understanding, and hard work. And finally, thank you to all of the teachers and staff who have pushed me above and beyond in my education. I'm truly grateful for every single person who has helped me get where I am today. Our generation grew up at a unique point in time, coming into our own alongside technology and the internet. We have the knowledge, traditions, and stories from our elders to guide us through our life, as well as the means to preserve those lessons, to engage with people worldwide, and to forge our own path forward. As Indigenous peoples, we face added adversities, but have remained resilient then and will continue to do so now. The world is in a state of metamorphosis, and we can choose what we want it to morph into. It is up to us to create change and to shape the world that we want to live in. As young people, we are the future, but it's important to remember that we don't have to wait until 10 years down the line to begin to make change, because we're part of the present as well. Not every change needs to be something revolutionary, though we do need that. But if every person can improve themselves, even in small ways, you're improving the lives of those around you and those who will come after. Now more than ever, it's critical for us to be aware of how our actions affect the future of our communities. It's a lot of responsibility, but we're not alone, since we have the knowledge, experience, and wisdom of those who have came before us, as well as the many allies who continue to stand with us. I believe that our generation can rise to the challenge. I want everybody to be able to go forth into the world with confidence, knowing that they can do so much, with love for themselves and for their communities, and with good intentions to leave the world a better place for those who come after us. In the words of the artist and UN speaker Kim Nam-joon, I would like to ask all of you, what is your name? What excites you and makes your heart beat? Tell me your story. I want to hear your voice, and I want to hear your conviction. No matter who you are, where you're from, your skin color or gender identity, speak yourself. The world needs to hear from young Indigenous people. It's vital that we speak up where we can and to tell our stories and to understand that we are actively shaping the world around us. Thank you for listening and allowing me to share a piece of my story. I'm so proud to be part of the class of 2020 and to be moving forward into the world with you all. I wish you all nothing but the best, and though we all walk different paths, we'll walk them as one. Thank you.
My name is Francis Black, teachers and staff for helping me with my high school year. I also want to thank the dorm staff for helping me through my high school year because they encouraged me to move on and they told me to never give up. I would like to thank my mom and my family for supporting me throughout my whole high school year. They have been there forever and they encouraged me to move on and to never give up and to always succeed your goal. And that goal was to graduate from high school, which I did, and I'm proud of that. And I want to congratulate all my senior classmates, class of 2020, home of the Braves. And we can hope to see you guys soon. Let's go, class of 2020. We did it.
I would like to thank my friends, especially my family, who have pushed me throughout my years of high school. and now I'm finally graduating. It goes out to you guys. Thank you.
Chị vừa chỉ tôi tập chỉ đấy tập ở mẹ tập khi một lệ đồ hay ni qua bao nhiêu khi một lẽ qua khi một mẹ tập nó hay là bao lâu mẹ tập hay có nữa mà hay tới lần đầu qua mẹ tập cái tập qua khi một đi nữa tập tập ở yêu tập qua khi một đó xong hay tập qua khi một lũ hay nó xong một thọ là cái bích tập qua một quỷ mình. Without further ado, your 2020 valedictorian.
It's in no New Washington he give one with that said that me. Good evening, honorable governors, distinguished guests, and the Santa Fe Indian School graduating class of 2020. Help your people. It's something I remember being told, and it is something still repeated to me by my parents and by many members of my community. My peers and I are urged to get an education, to experience the outside world, and then to bring that experience and knowledge back home to help better our people. But a problem that I, and possibly other young people, have spent years dealing with is whether I even wanted to return to the Pueblo. Realizing that problems such as domestic abuse, alcoholism, and neglect are not as prevalent in the outside world as they are on the reservation led me to ask myself a question. Should I even return? Having witnessed people slowly poisoning their bodies and minds as a way to cope with their sorrows and grievances, friends affected by neglect from their parents, and many other traumatic events that are commonplace in my community, I felt it would be much easier for my life if I simply left the Pueblo and distanced myself from the negative life impacts that made it much harder to succeed. My first experience with the world beyond my community came after I'd been accepted to MS Squared my freshman year of high school. This 3-year summer program was essentially a place where STEM-focused minority students worked towards expanding our knowledge in the field, all while empowering one another in our minority identities to deal with the adversities that exist in our communities. But it wasn't until my last year at the program that I would truly understand the significance of my identity in my struggles. Phillips Academy was completely different from Jemez Pueblo. The campus was blanketed with expansive grass lawns, with huge birch and oak trees scattered around the outskirts of the grounds. Large brick buildings made up a majority of the structures. Walking around campus, you could see many groups of people, varying in skin color, as people from over 50 different countries filled the campus's boundaries. But there were more than just the superficial changes that I noticed. I was confused that my peers at the program weren't nearly as divisive as my peers at home were. Jealousy and bias did not dominate there as they did at school. It was quite the opposite. Everyone felt comfortable to reach out and expand their learning without the worry of judgment from others. People regarded you as family, even if you knew very little about each other. I felt more accepted by a group of 100 minorities from all over the country than I did by my peers at home. It was weird to experience something different from what I had deemed a reality. But as all good things must come to an end, the summer quickly went by, and it was time for me to return home. The program became something that I still hold near and dear to my heart. In my first short month there, I garnered a vast amount of knowledge and met amazing people. However, this was also when my hesitation to return home began to develop. The first month of school after returning from Andover was a drastic change from the busy yet wonderful atmosphere of MS Squared. After having experienced a place where I felt most comfortable to be myself, the school diminished into a place where that was the opposite. Constantly worrying about what others thought of me seemed to be a byproduct of the negative environment that exists within the student community. I felt it necessary to keep a low profile to stay afloat at school, and it affected my actions as I went throughout the remainder of my high school years. This, in conjunction with the ideas and values that were being taught at home, was something I could not tolerate. I witnessed relatives and tribal members affected by alcoholism or addiction, and the effects of domestic abuse or neglect on cousins and friends. These were all issues that contributed to the toxic environment that surrounded the Pueblos. Envy, judgment, and a multitude of other destructive traits are side effects of the problems and contribute to the situation. Those characteristics infect many in the reservation and cause negative reactionary behaviors to obscure the positive attributes of our people. The realization of how wide-scale these issues were was easily supported by going to a school where kids from many Native communities are brought together. I noticed that less intense and earlier stages of those problems exist on campus. I could see the earlier forms of substance and domestic abuse at school and return home every weekend to see the more concentrated, mature versions within members of the Pueblo. Because of that, I gradually began to disconnect myself from not only my peers, but the traditions and people in my community. I didn't want to be associated with these vices in any way, so I misguidedly believed that the best action to take was to abandon home completely. This mindset stuck with me throughout my sophomore and junior years. It wasn't until I found myself at Andover for my final year that I came to an important realization. My third year was spent doing lots of collaborative work with my peers to help ourselves discover our purpose and identities as minorities. We bounced ideas off of each other as we focused on and sought to solve problems plaguing the Latinx, African American, and Native American races. I distinctly remember an activity where we acknowledged the positives in our communities. Watching friends mention the positive sides to their hometowns made me recognize that they weren't just dwelling on the negative aspects as I had. At that moment, I set aside my pessimistic view of home and truly recognized the strengths of my people. Compassion, critical thinking, and courage are just a few of the many positive traits that exist within my peers. I allowed my mind to fixate on the negatives of my school/home community, and I didn't recognize the positive qualities of my own people. I realized that others thought this way too. Friends shared similar stories where they planned to abandon their home communities after high school, but after many talks with them, staff members, and other collaborative sessions, we realized that running from the problem does nothing to solve it. To reinforce this new perspective, I remembered my parents' childhoods and all the struggles they told me about. They lived in a time where the problems that plague our communities were much more severe. Both lived in poverty-stricken households where they would constantly wonder where their next meals would come from. My mother had to go through the horrors of living in an abusive household and being defined by the stigmas of having an alcoholic parent. But instead of dwelling on those adversities and looking for ways to escape them, they sought out the change necessary to combat those behaviors. My father became an extremely resourceful hunter and skillsman who would go hunting with his siblings and use very limited resources to provide a meal for his family. He would also learn to appreciate the things he had gained through years of laborious work. My mother was instilled with the values of forgiveness and strengthened in her wits to avoid the abuse given almost daily by her family. They withheld a promise to give my siblings and I a life where we would never endure the same hardships that their surroundings imposed upon them. Their commitment to change allowed me to have one of the very few environments where I felt safe to explore my interests in the world. Both my parents worked vigorously to make sure I always have a meal to come home to. Many of the virtues I try to live by were taught to me in the form of reflections of my parents' past and the difficult situations they went through to learn them. They made sure to stay involved with my efforts at school, as constructive involvement and guidance was also something that they were deprived of. An endless feed of support was given to me whenever and wherever it was necessary. Whether it be monetary or emotional, my parents and sister made sure to make it known that I was supported and loved. I realize that I'm very fortunate to have had this environment and know that this may not have been the case for some of my peers. So I became inspired by my parents and family to give back what they gave to me, an environment where I felt comfortable to explore my curiosities and succeed in doing so. That mission became the center focus for my seniors honors project, but it also became the way I try to carry myself today. I aim to combat the negativity that exists at SFIS and in life by doing my best to create an environment where the people will be more comfortable to let their true positive selves shine. Every hardship and struggle we've gone through will always remain a problem in our lives if we don't reflect and learn from them. Simply obsessing about my problems in life did nothing but allow them to continue to grow. It wasn't until that initiative for change took hold that I would see a semblance of a more positive future. We need to tackle those problems that exist in our lives head on. I realize that this is much easier to say than to do. Many of us live in environments where negative behavior is influenced and condoned, but we are capable of breaking cycles. By working towards solving bits of our own traumas, we've essentially made the environment as a whole a little bit better for future generations. While our stories may not be exactly identical, I'm sure there have been times where that question of returning home has popped into your heads. I want to reinforce the idea that we owe it to the coming generations to create an environment where that question isn't pondered for even a second. Many of our parents and family members have gone through the more intense versions of our problems and have made it their goal to give us better lives. I believe that we should take their attempts a step further and work harder to create the environments that we had or didn't have. Making sure we do our part to make our surroundings conducive to positive growth is the best way to fight those problems that plague our communities. Who knows what we and future generations will be capable of accomplishing if we made our communities more conducive towards confidently branching out to learn and try new things. Experience without reflection is useless. And while we'll all be giving back to our communities in our own ways, we must empower our future generations by providing them a safer, more positive environment, one undoubtedly worth coming home to. Thank you, and once again, congratulations to my class of 2020.
Hello everyone, hope you're all doing fine in these trying times. So, I don't really know what to say for this, so I guess just for starters, I'll just thank my parents, my mom and my dad. They've been there for me since I started at SFIS back in 7th grade, so it's been a while. Just thanks for thanking them for always being supportive. I want to thank the table. You all know who you are. You guys most of you I've been with since 7th grade, so you made not only my senior year, but my entire time there enjoyable. It was fun. Thank you for that. Lastly, thank you to my English teachers. Every English teacher I've had has helped me realize that I'm going to pursue an English major in college, so thank you. That's really it. Bye. Hope you well.
First off, I would like to thank my friends for the long journey and memorable moments they gave us, gave me. It means a lot. It helped me get through high school. I'd like to thank the staff, the dorm staff, Chaz, Mark, for everything they've done for us, everything they're going to do in the future. I would especially like to thank the teachers, everybody from 7th grade to 12th grade for everything they're doing. Been there since 7th grade, been there 6 years, and it's been quite a journey, meeting new people, meeting new teachers, meeting everyone. And it really means a lot. And teachers don't get credit for everything, but teachers are the main persons who are in our lives that show us we can do it, show us that we have the heart and we have the spirit to do everything. I'd like to thank SFIS for everything. Thank you guys so much for everything you guys have done. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Darius Stones. I am from Okewunde. I am the son of Chris and Denise Stones. I am the grandchild of Tonita Gabardon and Fred and Mary Thrones. At my time at the Santa Fe Indian School, I participated in the chess club, the robotics club, cafe scientifique, boxing, and track. My plans after high school are to study computer science at the University of Utah with an emphasis on video game design. Today I present the 2020 class gift, a pottery that I made to the cafeteria to replace the one that was broken many years ago.
Good morning. My name's Joe Abeta, and I'm talking to you from my home in Santa Clara Pueblo. I'd like to welcome you to my house, and I've got a short period of time to share a thought with you that I was requested by the school to share. I understand that there is a young man by the name of Darius Tronus that has made a piece of pottery for the school that is going to be placed probably in the school dining hall, filled with seeds that will be contributed by the 19 pueblos. Years ago, when we were planning the school and trying to put together a program and asking the question, what is it that you want the school to become? The issue of prayer was significant. In one of the pueblos, as an example, one of the councilmen asked the interpreter to ask me, where do the children pray? what a question. And to be honest with you, there initially was not a very good answer because I had never been asked that before, and I don't know how many people in schools across the country are ever asked where did the children pray. But obviously it was important to the 19 Pueblos. At another time, I had been working with our planning committee, and we were talking about a special school that would respond to bright kids that were committed to school. And in my presentation in that regard, one of the councilmen asked again the interpreter to ask me, quote, "Mr. Abeta, who made you God?" Again, a significant question. And it was explained to me that all of our students, all of our community children are our children and our responsibility, and they should not be denied in any way from our school as long as they wanted to go to school there and that they follow the rules of the school and be active participants in making the Albuquerque and Santa Fe Indian School that very special place. So one of the responses was to tell the governors that we were in desperate need of their prayers and their help in doing the right thing for our children and being responsible in terms of putting together a school that responded to the perspective of our communities. I was reminded that every morning prayers are said, and those prayers are for the community and certainly for the children as very important members of that community because they are the future. So to try and capture that thought, the governors brought seeds that represented students, the young minds, the impressionable minds. Each pueblo brought seeds that represented their students and wanted those seeds placed in a bowl and put in a place at the school that every day everyone would be reminded of responsibilities, that all the students and the staff would be reminded that the school had as its goal a response to those kids and that prayers, their communities were behind them. There was an analogy that a student came up with, and it was that the seeds represents them, and the staff and the school community are the farmers. They plant the seeds mature, and the seeds produce food. So this year, the graduates represent a culmination of that prayer. Students, you are the growing plants that are now at a place that you're asked to be a part of the growth, the continued growth of the school. And this idea that you've got is an incredible idea, placing a reminder for students in the school, reminding them that prayers are said for you and that you need to be encouraged. Kundawaha, thank you very much.
As Senior Class President, on behalf of the Class of 2020, I would like to present this check of $5,000 to the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center's Pueblo Relief Fund in response to the COVID-19 pandemic.
6 years at the Santa Fe Indian School. It was the best of times and it was the worst of times, but it looks like we made it. I want to thank all the people who have helped me along the way. I want to start off by thanking all the SFIS teachers and staff who have supported me in high school, especially Kate Sala, Alicia Fritz, Lisa Lontigue, and Sita Pacheco, for not only being engaging educators, but also encouraging me to be brave by asking questions and sharing my voice. Thank you to the SFIS soccer and softball coaches who have motivated and inspired me to always put in the hard work, both on and off the field, but even more importantly, to play with heart. Special gratitude to my father, Coach Joe Varga, an amazing mentor who taught me play every game like it's your last game and leave everything you have on the field. I will do my best to live each day with that attitude. I also want to thank Seneca for being my best friend since middle school. You were my sanity when I felt like life was just too crazy, and you were the right amount of crazy when I took life too seriously. I could not have survived high school without you. Last but not least, I want to thank my family for teaching me incredible life lessons and giving me unconditional love and support. I would not be where I am today without you. I love you, Mom and Dad. I love my awesome pug, Luna, and I even love my sisters, Kyla, Sierra, and Leia.
Hi, class of 2020. I just want to say that I'm grateful to have had the opportunity to grow up with you guys for 4 years and to wish you good luck in your futures and to keep making goals for you to achieve. I want to say thank you to the teachers and staff, but a special thank you to Martinez, Van Buren, Mel, Steve, and Miss Manzanares, Gutierrez, and Lois for making sure that I got my work turned in and for being my support system from the school. I want to say thank you to my friends and my family for being there for me and almost being at every game, and for making sure that I came from a supportive and loving family. A special thank you to Alexis, Iris, Frankie, and Francine for making my high school years great, and for our laughs, and for creating memories that I will never forget. Thank you.
Hello and congratulations to the class of 2020. Graduating from the Santa Fe Indian School is a big accomplishment. You're graduating during a challenging time for our nation. Your determination is inspiring, and I know you will go on to do great things no matter what path you take. I want to give a special thank you to your high school principal, Faith Rosetta, who has worked tirelessly to keep everything on track during the current pandemic.
Hi everyone, Senator Martin Heinrich here, and it is my honor to congratulate all of the graduates in the Santa Fe Indian Schools class of 2020. You are the future leaders for your communities and tribal nations, and you give us all hope.
Senator Heinrich and I join you today to present the Senatorial Award, which we have sponsored. The award is given to a senior who exemplifies the ideals of the Santa Fe Indian School. The student must excel in areas of academics, behavior, and extracurricular activities. This year's winner excelled academically, graduating from the Santa Fe Community College before finishing high school. He has earned credentials as both a community health worker and a certified nursing assistant. He is a dedicated and purpose-driven young man who is guided by traditional cultural values. During his time in high school, he maintained a 3.0 grade point average. He was involved in activities geared toward cultural traditions, and he participated in the Cultural Exchange Program, traveling to Hawaii, San Francisco, Seattle, and Salmon River, New York, to share his culture and traditions and learn from other indigenous people. This student has displayed strong leadership skills, participating in the National Honor Society, serving as a class officer, and serving 2 years as the MC for Popeye Day. His senior honors project is titled Home Away from Home, the Missing Ingredient. Through his project, he brought traditional home-cooked meals to the dorms and helped improve students' mental and emotional health.
This year's senatorial awardee is Hopi and goes to Irv Yellow. Irv is the son of Jessica Kwamahongniwa. Due to the distance from his home in Second Mesa, Arizona, Irv gained a home in nearby Santo Domingo Pueblo, located just outside of Santa Fe. Irv experienced a life with his new Kiowa family, becoming a brother and a son to the family. During his stay, he formed many relationships with family members and friends who accepted him for his humble and generous nature. Donalyn Nieto, the high school secretary, says Irv is devoted to a traditional Pueblo lifestyle. He's mastered the art of embroidery and weaving traditional belts. He is a man who sets forth goals for himself and others and strives to reach those goals any way he can. Irv plans to attend Northland Pioneer College in Arizona and is currently serving as security at the checkpoints in Hopi in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Congratulations, Irv, on receiving this year's senatorial award. I am so proud of your achievements and look forward to all of your future accomplishments.
Congratulations, Irv. Your hard work has been inspiring and it has paid off. We're so excited to see what you accomplish next.
And once again, congratulations to all of this year's graduates and to their families.
We are going to see never too boring of moving, something for now, to Jong Hobby moving, to Jong Ho, never thought of Jia, in my key, car, Jing, it to hobby moving, while you never hit, I can be up in the way, PK. We are in a honey, we are in a corner in how he Roma in Madam whenever he sucked on Bobby Manny. Well, good evening, fellow governors, grandparents, fathers, mothers, family, friends in the graduating class of 2020. Also, Superintendent, your faculty here at the Santa Fe Indian School. I would like to thank you for the opportunity given to me as chairman of the All Pueblo Council of Governors to present this year's 2020 Governor's Award. First of all, I would like to thank Senator Udall and Senator Heinrich for their continued support for the Santa Fe Indian School families and students. We appreciate you sharing your message and presenting the 2020 Senator's Award. I am honored to join you today to present the Santa Fe Indian School's 2020 Governor's Award. The Governor's Award is the highest honor given to the school to a senior at graduation. The student receiving this award exemplifies the ideal graduate. The recipient must demonstrate our core values and excel in the areas of leadership, academics, behavior, athletics, and extracurricular activities. I say that this year's winner is well-rounded is an understatement. Here at the Santa Fe Indian School, she has excelled as a student since 7th grade, claiming a spot on the superintendent's honor roll every quarter of high school and finishing with a GPA of 4.034. She has played varsity sports all her 4 years of high school, earning nearly as many honors on the field as she does in the classroom. Furthermore, the student has taken the leadership roles throughout her time, here serving as an athletics captain, an officer in the National Honor Society, and editor of the school yearbook. This year's awardee brings tenacity and a critical mind to everything she does. Her senior honors project is titled Show Me the Money, Inequity of Santa Fe Indian School Sports Funding. She researched how athletic programs are funded at the Santa Fe Indian School with an investigator's eye on gender disparity and related her findings to inequity seen in women's sports programs nationwide. Her SHP mentor, Kara Sala, said her dedications to equality on and off the field shown through her SHP research. She pushed this controversial idea forward. She's a leader for future students to not be afraid to ask different questions. This year's Governor's Awardee is Kira Marmijo Barca from the Pueblo of Picaris. Kira is the daughter of Sage Marmijo and Joe Varga. Kira has been a model student athletic during her time at the Santa Fe Indian School. In her senior honors project paper, she wrote, "I am thankful for the opportunity to respect my school on and off the field. Every time I walk on the soccer pitch and the softball field, I look at my jersey and see Lady Brave stitched on there. Each time I see Lady Braves on my jersey, I feel proud to have the chance to play for the Santa Fe Indian School. Governor Concello of Pickery says of Kira, I had the opportunity to watch Kira grow up here in the Pueblo and become an extremely kind, sensitive, and sensible girl. Kira dances with strength and focus, which is very powerful and graceful. Her cultural qualities are impressive, as is her intellectual accomplishments. Kira plans to attend Notre Dame University in the fall, where she will focus on psychology. So this year, the Santa Fe Indian School, the 19 Pueblos Governor's Award is presented to Kira Sky Mamijo for overall excellence in academic achievement, community service, athletics, civil affairs, and exemplifying the core values of Santa Fe Indian School with a commitment to Native American culture, values, and traditions. So at this time, as the chairman of the All Public Council of Governors, I present the 2020 Governor's Award to Kira Sky Mamijo Varga. Congratulations, Kira.
Hello everyone, my name is Kateri Pino and I'm from Zia Pueblo. I didn't, or none of us didn't really expect our senior year to end like this, but with everything happening in the world, I'm just grateful for everything in life. These past 4 years were the toughest but the best. I came to SFIS when I was a freshman, beginning a new chapter in my life. So I would like to thank my parents, especially my mother, my grandparents, my siblings, my nephews, my boyfriend, and my family for motivating me and lecturing me, sometimes using my father's words of advice to be the best in my education and in life. Also, a big thank you to the SFIS teachers, especially the senior teachers, coaches, and dorm staff who really made it feel like home. But I can't forget about the students or peers that I met these past years, especially Vetra and other amazing people I've met. You all gave me memories I'll always cherish and I'll never forget, especially the train rides home. I wish nothing but the best to my classmates because we really went through a lot to be where we're at now. But I would like to say you all really made the school feel like home. But to the class of 2020, we did it. Now it's time to celebrate in quarantine and after. But once a brave, always a brave.
Hello everybody, my name is Seneca Johnson and I'm from the Muskogee and Seminole Nations. I've been attending SFIS since 7th grade and I've gotten to learn and grow alongside you all. I'm really grateful to the class of 2020 for making my experience here such a good one. And though finishing high school from quarantine is not at all what I expected, I'm still really glad that I got to finish it alongside you all. Thank you to my friends, especially Kira and McKelty, who've stuck by my side and have made me laugh every single day. I'm with you to the end of the line. Thank you to my parents, Kenneth and Val Johnson, and my little sister Sky, who've loved, encouraged, and believed in me every step of the way, and who I wouldn't be here without. Thank you to all the teachers and staff who've worked tirelessly to care for us and to give us an education. I really appreciate everything that you've done and everything that you continue to do. So I wish the class of 2020 and staff nothing but the best.
Hello, everybody. I'm Congresswoman Deb Haaland, representative for New Mexico's 1st Congressional District and proud member of the Pueblo of Laguna. I'm so honored to be with you on this special occasion and for a meaningful virtual ceremony recognizing the hard work it takes to get here and the bright futures that lie ahead for each and every one of you. Your presence here today is no small feat. The hours of studying, reading, paper writing, class time have led you to this moment. And though you may not use everything you learn here, you're taking with you important skills. Time management, communication, and teamwork are invaluable no matter where you go. The Santa Fe Indian School is a unique place to earn an education. Not only have you learned the skills that will benefit you for the rest of your lives, you are taking with you a culturally relevant education that will help you challenge perceptions and stand up for our communities, no matter what field you're in. Everyone in this room is the dream that our ancestors had when they fought famine and drought, or terrible assimilation practices of the past century, and continued the fight of oppression that still exists today in our communities of color. That comes with a responsibility to leave the ladder down for those who come after you. Take time to remember all of the people who helped you get here. Any educational endeavor is a family affair. I know that your families have sacrificed right along with you, and so I'd like to give you all an opportunity to recognize them now. Parents, brothers, sisters, aunties and uncles, and elders, today is a big step. You are here. You managed to show your strength and perseverance in the face of many challenges, including a pandemic during your last term. You should be proud. But your journey is not done yet. So yes, today pat yourselves on the back, celebrate this huge accomplishment, but tomorrow there's work to be done. Whether you're moving in to further your education, into secured employment, or looking into the trades, my hope is that you find your passion and pursue it to improve the lives of our neighbors, families, and fellow New Mexicans. Your futures are at your feet. I will tell you it's not always going to be easy, and there will be roadblocks to stop you from achieving your goals. In fact, when I decided to run for Congress, many people told me it couldn't be done, that there had never been someone like me in the U.S. Congress, that it takes a lot of money, and so on. But I didn't let that deter me. I ran a campaign I'm proud of, and now I have the opportunity to make sure tribes have a seat at the table so we can fight for things like internet access so Native students don't have to worry whether they're going to be able to do virtual lessons from home, and healthcare access. I'm the living embodiment that you don't have to be rich to run for Congress, and that hard work pays off. Despite everything that's going on in the world, hope remains strong because we come from communities who sacrificed so future generations would be more successful as they continued. You are the dream your grandparents had when they went to work every morning or went through hardships to support their families. The dream that your parents had when you came into the world. Our country and our world are counting on you. Thank you so much, and congratulations.
Hello, my name is Kateri Pino and I am from Zio Pueblo. As a member of the National Honor Society and Vice President of Student Body, I am pleased to gift this beautiful necklace made by Steve Cruz from the Crispin Designs from Santo Domingo, Pueblo, on the behalf of the class of 2020 to Representative Deb Holland. The class of 2020 appreciates the words of advice and encouragement you have shared with us today. We will reflect back on these words in our near future as we all venture off into the world. So thank you again, Representative Deb Holland.
Hello, my name is Sean Riley. One of my best memories at high school was being able to graduate, but it was also getting the love both from Laguna Acoma High School and my own school, Santa Fe Indian School. And this was all during homecoming week and running, and just the amazement of seeing my whole family there and, crowds of people there, cheering me on. That was the best part of my high school memory. What I plan to do for my future endeavors is to go into business and try to get my master's. Another thing I want to do right after high school is go into barber school and become a certified barber. It's times like this where we don't know what's gonna happen or how things are gonna happen, but there's a plan. And if you stick to that plan, things will go right. Later.
Hello, my name is Tanea Gablan. I am from the Pueblo of Jemez. First off, I'd like to thank the dorm staff, especially Renee Cotta, for always taking care of me, being there for me, and supporting me like my second mom, along with Sylvia Vigil and Tony Frank. Thankful for you guys. I also like to thank my family for always pushing me, especially my mom, for always being a good parent. And also like to thank my best friend DeAndre for making the memories so memorable. And also like to thank the teachers, especially Mr. Messes, for never giving up on me. I'm thankful for that. And I'm thankful for Coach Joe for making the cross-country years the best and memorable. Thank you.
Class of 2020, your high school principal here, Ms. Faith Rosetta. Before I formally certify you as official graduates, I want to take a moment to reflect on your class, your time here at SFIS, and this very strange but hopeful senior year. To think 4 years ago, we were in the Pueblo Pavilion and I was calling out your names as 8th graders promoting to the high school. None of us knew at that moment that I would follow you to high school and spend 4 more years with you as your principal. For those of you who joined us in high school, it has been a pleasure to get to know you individually. You each bring your own unique gifts from the Creator to contribute to this amazing class of graduates. Reflecting on you as a class, it is our core value of resilience that describes you best. In 2016, as freshmen, you showed up on Popeye Day and ran in the morning behind the upperclassmen, showing your support and solidarity with the water protectors, running the campus fence line with flags, showing support for many other important causes. In 2018, as sophomores, you took to the fence line of our school campus again, this time inviting students from the New Mexico School for the Deaf to join in a school walkout for the March for Our Lives protest to demonstrate the importance of your safety at school. In 2019, as seniors, you joined the International Climate Strike and convinced me to let the entire school walk from our campus to the Roundhouse to share your concerns for the environment. There you carried signs, chanted, spoke in front of crowds, and performed in the rotunda, showing the underclassmen how to use your voice to create change. I won't speak of the snow delay strike of 2020 because my heart is full of forgiveness. Maybe we will let the class of 2021 take the blame for that one. You have seen your fair share of disruption to your education. The 1,000-year flood that delayed the start of school year for your junior year. The loss of heat on our campus in the winter of 2019 that sent you home for several days. Then this year came. And the first announcements, your trips to Japan, Hawaii, New York, Washington, D.C., and California were canceled. Then the closing of campus for 3 weeks. Then the closing of campus for the remainder of the year. Senior Honors Symposium canceled indefinitely. No prom, quarantine, isolation, lack of motivation. Some of you even became sick or watched those around you, your loved ones, be consumed by the pandemic. The burden of your tribal communities fell upon you, and your senior year became the sacrifice to protect your people. But you each persevered. You contacted teachers, drove miles for internet service, reached out to your college professors, called on your principal, took on jobs to support your families. As young mothers and fathers, you held your own children close to your hearts with protection and wrote your seniors' honors essays at your kitchen tables. You persevered, and you will carry that with you for the rest of your life, influencing all that you will accomplish. But let's not forget those who pushed you forward along the way. Your SFIS teachers, your counselors and staff, your dorm mothers and fathers, your own mothers and fathers, grandparents, aunts and uncles, and mentors, and one another. Together, or with the help of someone who loves you, you were able to get to this place. Remember that I love you. I say that on behalf of all your teachers and all the SFIS staff and faculty. I hope that you're all home right now, sitting in your caps and gowns. Parents and families, please help me in getting your graduates at home to participate in this next segment. Class of 2020, please stand in your homes. To our Santa Fe Indian School Board of Trustees and Superintendent Herrera, I, Faith Rosetta, Santa Fe Indian School Principal, certify that each and every graduate presented here today, the 26th day of June 2020, has satisfactorily completed the required course of study for a high school diploma as prescribed by the Santa Fe Indian School Board of Trustees and Advanced Ed, a worldwide accreditation agency. On behalf of all of the Santa Fe Indian School staff and faculty, we wish each of our graduates were here. We wish we could see your smiles in real time, shake your hands, give you hugs, and be a part of this truly amazing accomplishment. Joining me to present the Santa Fe Indian School 2020 graduates, our Student Living Director, Brandy Chavez of San Felipe Pueblo.
On behalf of the High School Student Living Program,
I want to congratulate our 2020 graduates. Over the last 4 years, you have become our sons and daughters. We have all missed you so much these past few months. We miss the sounds of your voices and laughter in the halls of the dorms, and we miss sharing this special day with you. We are all so proud of you, and we want you to continue your hard work, give back to your communities, and continue your education, all with the core values in your heart and mind. It is with great respect, pride, and honor that I present to you the Santa Fe Indian School graduating class of 2020. Manuel Francisco Abeda Ayala, Okewinge. Mario Alberto Abeda Ayala, Okewinge. Jarek Luis Aguilar, Pueblo of Santo Domingo. Sylvia A. Aguilar, Pueblo of San Felipe. DeAndre Lynn Armijo, Pueblo of Jemez. Daniel Joseph Arquero, Pueblo of Cochiti. David E. Arquero, Pueblo of Cochiti. Janelle A. Atencio, Okewinge, Pueblo of San Ildefonso. Brandon Dakota Baca, Pueblo of Santa Clara, Pueblo of Zuni. Makalti Isadora Baca, Pueblo of Jemez. Isaiah T. Baca Stone, Okewinge. Talia R. Bailon, Pueblo of Santo Domingo. Shanti Cabrini Benter, Pueblo of Zuni, Sikagan, Chippewa. Leah D. I. Betleon, Hickory Apache Nation, Cheyenne River Sioux. Isaac B. A. Bawani, Pueblo of Cochiti. Aliyah Sky Calabaza, Pueblo of San Felipe. Guadalupe J. Calabaza, Pueblo of Santo Domingo. Kylie Jasmine Candelaria, Pueblo of San Felipe. Herschel Eugene Casaus, Pueblo of Santa Clara. Clayton Casaquito, Pueblo of Jemez. Garrison Keith Kate, Pueblo of Santo Domingo. Autumn A. Charlie, Navajo Nation. Keegan J. Chi, Pueblo of Acoma. Tavia M. Chuyate, Pueblo of Zuni. Avery Connors, Okewinge. Ronnie Terrell Carice, Pueblo of Santo Domingo. Jocelyn April Crispin, Pueblo of Santo Domingo. Sean E. Cruz Duran, Pueblo of Tesuque. Iris Mackenzie Emery, Pueblo of Santo Domingo. Jasmine Alyssa Frawa, Pueblo of Zuni. Cole Anthony Gachupin, Pueblo of Jemez. Francine Amelia Gallegos, Okewinge. Tanea Evelyn Galvan, Pueblo of Jemez. Andrel Linus Garcia, Pueblo of Santo Domingo. Hunter Marie Garcia, Pueblo of San Felipe, Navajo Nation. Malachi E. Garcia, Pueblo of Cochiti. Ryan Jimmy Garcia, Jicarilla Apache Nation. Brianna Jody Gutierrez, Pueblo of Santa Clara, Pueblo of San Ildefonso. Deanna V. K. Herrera, Pueblo of Cochiti. Costa Honani Tafoya, Hopi, Pueblo of Santa Clara. Amber Lynn Haniemtiwa, Pueblo of Tesuque, Hopi. Alicia Beth James, Navajo Nation, Yakima Nation. Cecilia Ann Nashe James, the Colville Confederated Tribes, Pueblo of Santo Domingo. Seneca Sarah Starr Johnson, Muskogee Nation, Seminole Nation. Manisha Kawas, Okewinge, San Carlos Apache. Izel C. Latoma, Pueblo of San Felipe. Brittany Monet Lovato, Pueblo of Santo Domingo. Antonia Teresa Lucero, Pueblo of Jemez. Juanita Faith Lucero, Pueblo of Santo Domingo. Miranda M. Lujan, Okewinge. Frankie Yellowflower Maestas Chavez, Okewinge. Lauren Greyhawk Maestas Chavez, Okewinge. Daniela Estrella Martinez, Pueblo of Nambe. Thelma Jeslyn Martinez, Pueblo of Santo Domingo. Kira Sky Marmejo Varga, Pueblo of Picaris. Aaron K. Miles, Navajo Nation. Isaiah S. Moquino, Pueblo of Santo Domingo. Ty L. Moquino, Pueblo of Santa Clara. Lucas K. Morris, Navajo Nation. Alyssa Rose Sanel Naranjo, Pueblo of Santa Ana. Henry Natanaba, Navajo Nation. Ashley Faith Ortiz, Pueblo of San Felipe. Santiago Lovato Otero, Pueblo of Santo Domingo. Jaden R. Adoli, Pueblo of Santa Clara. Natalie M. Pecos, Pueblo of Cochiti. Bethia Angelique Christine Pena, Pueblo of Santo Domingo. Sheldon C. Pena, Pueblo of San Ildefonso. Jade Francis Pinitza, Pueblo of Zuni. Francisco Bartolo Pino, Pueblo of Zia. Kateri Ann Pino, Pueblo of Zia. Harlan Wolf Quintana, Pueblo of Cochiti, Hopi. Mario D.I. Quintana, Pueblo of Cochiti. Michaela Shauna Snyder Ramon, Navajo Nation. Sean Patrick Riley, Pueblo of Laguna, Pueblo of Acoma. Kyron Romero, Pueblo of Jemez. Lucas M. Romero, Okewenge, Pueblo of Santa Clara. Stephen B. Rubin, Pueblo of Laguna. Kendall L. Sandoval, Pueblo of San Felipe, Pueblo of Santo Domingo. Shanikia Rose Shelley, Navajo Nation. Alyssa Juliet Red Willow Shehey, Pueblo of Santo Domingo. Laura S. Ten Fingers, Oglala, Lakota. Aaron Marcus Tenorio, Pueblo of Santo Domingo. Alana G. Tenorio, Pueblo of Santo Domingo. Kobe James Tenorio, Pueblo of San Felipe. Leora May Tenorio, Pueblo of Santo Domingo, Pueblo of San Felipe. Vernon R. Tenorio, Pueblo of Santo Domingo. Vetra Myra Tenorio, Pueblo of San Felipe. Rhiannon Najoni Thomas, Navajo Nation. Darius C. Makoa Thrones, Okewenge. Elin S. Tosa, Pueblo of Jemez, Pueblo of Santa Clara. Merlina Jan Tosa, Pueblo of Jemez. Deandra Jo Toya, Pueblo of Jemez. Alexis M. Trancosa, Pueblo of San Felipe. Joseph Derek Trancosa Jr., Pueblo of San Felipe. Alexander H. Trujillo, Pueblo of Taos. Joseph James Trujillo III, Okewenge. Lourdes M. A. Trujillo, Pueblo of Cochiti. Kobe C. Salate, Pueblo of Zuni. Analicia Maria Rain Valdiviso, Pueblo of Santa Clara. Landon P. Valencia, Pueblo of San Felipe. Valine Rose Valencia, Pueblo of San Felipe. Francis Guadalupe Velasquez, Pueblo of San Felipe. Talon Marie Velasquez, Pueblo of Laguna. Lauren Jasmine Vigil, Pueblo of Tesuque, Okewenge. Kalina Heather Villa, Pueblo of Jemez. Ivory Ann Wright, Okewenge.
Irv D. Yellow, Hopi. The Santa Fe Indian School congratulates the class of 2020.
Oh For my senior honors project, I studied how the media puts out stories of the law enforcement doing negative stuff and not letting people see the positive side. My plans after high school are to go to Santa Fe Community College for 2 to 4 years in criminal justice to fulfill my career as a New Mexico State Police officer. Today I am here to provide the benediction. Umbiak gendi, guta woha wiata ti megi, ba bibo tagi gimbu di neparepie gimeng. Akuta po biak baikibo tinghu.
It's Alyssa Shahey, and excuse the messy bun and the messy wardrobe, but I really didn't want to try for a video since it's quarantine. But I would like to give a shout out to the people who made my senior year a memorable experience. That's the first floor girls, you know who you are, the soccer team, some of the track team, and the 4 students in QR who made me stay up in a class that was really tempting to fall asleep in.
mean, she like boys and girls, oh well, that's okay.
I want to thank all the teachers I've had the pleasure of being exposed to over the past 4 years. Whether or not I've enjoyed your class, you've all taught me something extremely valuable that I've used to get to where I am today. As for the class of 2020, I ask that you don't sweat the small stuff. Constantly worrying about things that you can't control or bad interactions with people does nothing but add more pessimism and angst to our lives. As I continue to try and change this mindset for myself, I ask that any of you who resonate with my sentiment do the same. It only makes sense that if we stop worrying about things that don't really affect our lives at all, it'll be much easier to enjoy, especially as we continue our new chapter in our lives. Lastly, I want to give a huge thanks to my parents. Without your guys' dedication to making my siblings' lives and I much easier, my academic success would not have been possible. You guys are the sole reason I've achieved anything in life, and I want to thank you for that. You guys really are catalysts for change, and I want to make sure that that idolizing statement remains true as I continue my life.
Fire!